next speaker, I've actually had a chance to build a really great relationship with this guy over the last probably 18 months. His enthusiasm is extremely infectious. Great guy to spend some time with. He is one of the under 30 groups that's out there. Hang on, I think I have the solution on that one. Right there. He's one of the under 30 young guns in the business. Absolutely an expert at virtual selling. He's based out of Utah. He is the creator of the 6-figure Medicare agent group on Facebook. If you're not a member, I would highly suggest it. It's a jam-packed group full of awesome people sharing great value. He is an author. He is the co-host of the Taco Tuesday podcast. And he is the creator and host of the, I'm going to do it like he does, Everything Medicare podcast. Please welcome my good buddy, Christian Brindle.
Thank you, everybody. Don't want to be walking in front of the slide here. This is a great turnout, and this is a dynamite event. I've had such a great time getting to connect with all of you guys the last couple of days, and I know it might seem a little bit redundant at this point, because I think every single person that's come up here has said something along the same kind of thing that I'm about to say, but let's give Justin Brock and Bobby Brock Insurance a huge round of applause for throwing such an awesome event. Give it up for him. I think it's fair to say that a lot of people that are in the audience today do not know what my topic was about. The title left it a little bit in mystery a little bit. I'm going to be talking today about feeding the beast. Now, what is the beast? The beast I'm talking about, you guys, is your personal brand. We've done a lot of conversations this last couple of days about personal branding. I really wanted to focus on how you can do so by creating and pushing content out into the stratosphere. So, before I get into that, I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about me and kind of how, I started out like a lot of you guys. I started out doing a lot of the old school kind of techniques, not that they don't work. They actually worked very well for me. I made 6 figures on the back of cold calling building my business for Medicare supplements, knocking on doors, direct mail, a lot of stuff that is tried and true in our industry. And I did that for the first 4 years of my business. But I came to a head to where I felt like I wasn't growing as fast as I wanted to. I felt like I could grow at a faster pace. And that's when I got into creating content by being able to learn from watching guys like Cody, watching guys like Justin, who are doing it at such a great level. And in the past 12 months, I think we've created something kind of special with our online brand. And that's what Feeding the Beast is going to be about. So before I get into the slideshow, guys, I just had a question for you. By a show of hands, how many people in this room actively create content for your business? Okay, good amount of you. Follow-up question, how many of you think you're creating content as often as you should? I don't like that. So, content, guys, is a huge, huge resource for your business. It's going to contribute to growing your brand. Now, I'm not telling you that the strategies that I'm going to talk to you about today on some things you can do to get your name out there are necessarily going to replace the things that you're doing in your business. Any of the things that I just mentioned, if you're doing that in your business, I'm not telling you to stop doing that. But what you can do, slowly but surely, through creating a brand and creating content, you can add and supplement to your business. And over time, maybe it can completely replace it altogether. So, I didn't bring the clicker, Stephen. Oh. I forgot to grab it. Okay. So, let's talk about social media. The biggest thing that I heard for years on social media is our clients aren't on social media as Medicare agents. I think that, for the most part, has been put to bed, but just in case it's not, in 2020, it was estimated that 3.96 billion people, with a B, we're estimated to use social media. The average person has about 8.5 social media accounts. So the myth that seniors are only, and granted this is just in general, but seniors are on all these platforms. They're on TikTok, for those of you who don't know. They're on these platforms. Now they're on probably certain platforms more than others, but they're becoming more and more acclimated to social media. And this is how you can essentially be found on social media through creating content. So the way that I look at each platform, guys, is I look at it as a channel, as its own unique audience that can be built and can bring something different to your business. So I'm gonna be able to get something different off of YouTube than I can off of Facebook. I'm gonna be able to get something different off of LinkedIn than I can get from YouTube, and so on and so forth. And each platform is different in its own respect. And I got something else to tell you guys that's good news. We live in the best time ever to grow a business, not just an insurance business, but a business. Because 20, 30, 40 years ago, the only way you could get attention like you can today was by spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on traditional marketing. There was nothing you could really do like today that could be organic and bring traffic to your business. So guys, will your clients Google you? I guarantee it. And how much stuff are they seeing when they Google you? If you don't know the answer to that, that's not a good thing. Or if they just see a couple of things, that's not a good thing either. They should be seeing pages and pages and pages of information on you, because this does a couple of things. Number one, it builds credibility in their mind without them even thinking about it, that you are an expert at what you're talking about. They don't even have to necessarily read all the bios and information and visit every page. If they Google you and they find 100 different results or 100 pages with your name on it, or there's something that you've been featured on, shoot, pretty impressive. Some of the things that I put out, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit more at the end, but some of the things I put out in the last couple of months, really the last year, I've been guests on tons of other shows. Any person that's asked, I'm there. You got 5 subscribers? Let's go. Let's roll. Because one of your 5 subscribers might not know who I am. And this is an opportunity for them to become my subscriber. Books, podcasts. For those of you who aren't too familiar with me, I host 2 podcasts currently. I run 2 YouTube channels. I run a Facebook group. I've authored 4 books. I'm a big believer at putting content out in as many ways as I can possibly think about it. Because the more content that you're pushing out there, the more likely someone is to stumble across you. Now, we always hear that referrals are the best lead we can ever get, right? And there's a lot of truth to it. Pete's a referral king, right? But I would be willing to argue that a person that finds your content online and spends some time digesting it could potentially be slightly better, because they're going to be educated. It's almost like you're doing a presentation and it's reaching thousands of people instead of just doing it one by one by one. So create content early and often. So here's the thing with content, guys. One piece of content is never going to get you where you need to go. It has to be repetitive, has to be consistent. Now, here's the thing with content, and a couple of people have already talked about this. I think Eric Fierro very accurately pointed out right before me that you don't need a fancy camera crew or a bunch of equipment to create quality content. What matters first is the quality of the information, but the quality of the video probably doesn't matter that much. The information is what I care more about. So now the other thing is quantity. If I had to pick either quantity or quality, I'm going to pick quantity every single time. I would rather have 100 videos that are shot with a camcorder on my YouTube channel than one video shot with a $5,000 camera. Who would agree with me by show of hands? Done is better than perfect. Don't just start creating, finish what you start. So if you put a goal out to put out, I don't know, 2 YouTube videos a week or 3 YouTube videos a week, make sure that you get it done. Follow through with it, because then you're going to fall in favor with the algorithm. And not only that, guys, you can use your content over and over and over. You create a piece of content and it will reward you forever if you use it correctly. You can share it on Facebook. You can send it out in emails. My videos that we create for beneficiaries, I send them out to email blasts to my clients. I use them. When I'm talking to somebody maybe that's aging in, turning 65, I have a couple of tutorials on how to apply for Medicare online, some tips about getting on Medicare for the first time. I will email these to people and it just makes my life easier. I don't have to work quite as hard. You can use your content over and over and over and get so much more out of it than just one post. So, there's a couple different demographics in this room. There's people that are recruiting, and there's people that are selling direct to consumer, and there's some people that do both. If you are a recruiter, you should have a Facebook group. And I know what I'm saying here. I'm about to triple the size of the amount of Facebook groups we have in our space. And some of the people that run groups might not love that. But if you're a recruiter, you should have a Facebook group. 100%. Because you have so much more chance of people finding you in their algorithm in a group than on your personal Facebook page. And God knows on a business page. People are going to find your content much easier. People get notified more on a Facebook group than regular Facebook. The Facebook algorithm for organic traffic isn't dead. It just needs to be done in the correct part of the platform. And Facebook groups are perfect for that. So, yeah, the Facebook algorithm highly favors group posts opposed to posts in your business personal page. People are notified. The other thing, if you have something that if you're a recruiter and you have something that you want out there, well, Facebook groups have this thing called announcements. You can mark something as an announcement. It's the first thing they see when they go to your group. When I have a new video out, you'll notice when you go to my group, the video is pinned as an announcement. It's the first thing you see. You can't go in there without seeing that video because I want you to see it. So, what is the real purpose for posting? You want people to be drawn back to your group for your recruiters out there again and again and again. So, you want to be sharing valuable information. You want them to feel like that they get something in your community that they don't get anywhere else. And you want it to be you, right? You want your personality to show through your content. So when I'm posting, I'm typically not going to post more than once in an hour in my Facebook group because I feel like it waters it down. But I've also heard certain people say you shouldn't post more than twice a day, 3 times a day. If that's true, I'm doing something wrong because I'm probably posting somewhere between 5 to 8 times a day in my Facebook group because I want people to continuously be thinking about me and what I'm doing in my business. That makes me feel really good because I love you to pieces, Chris Weir. I would rather post too much than too little. Write that down if you're taking notes. Too much is better than too little. Can sometimes it be a little bit over the top? Can you potentially piss people off? Maybe. But the way I look at it is those people probably aren't going to be too keen on my brand to start with. So I'd rather draw them away by annoying them. Just me personally. So, don't want to create your own Facebook group? Well, there's other things you can do. Facebook group's a lot of work. Anybody that runs one in this room will tell you that. There's other things you can do. Contribute to others. Go to Medicare Gurus and make sure that you're answering questions. Be a resource for the community. People are going to see your name again and again and again, and they're going to think, hey, this individual knows what they're talking about. Be a resource of knowledge. And answer every single question asked if you can. Someone that's really good at that is Joanna Wyckoff. I don't know if she's in this room, but anybody that's in the Facebook communities knows that it doesn't matter what group you're in, it doesn't matter. Joanna's going to answer the question and is going to give a solid answer every single time. I'm trying to catch up to her on that because she's nailed it. There are people that go in other people's groups. Joanna runs a great group with Nation Care Insurance, but there are people that go in other groups and tag her for questions instead of the admin because she's so nailing this. So if you don't want to create your own group, there are things you can do to contribute to others and make yourself a valuable person in that community. People see your name consistently. They'll appreciate your information. They'll identify you as an expert, somebody that they can rely on. They'll see that you know what you're talking about. John F. Kennedy once said, and this has been said several times over this mastermind, a rising tide lifts all boats. We all win when we help each other succeed. Every single person in this room should have a book out here. And I don't care if you're recruiting agents or if you're selling direct to consumer. My first 3 books that I put out were for consumers. Medicare books, insurance books in general. And to be honest with you guys, now, this is going to get misinterpreted. I know that it is, but I don't even care if they read the book. Because the point of the book is for them to, without even thinking about it, identify in their minds that I'm the expert at what they need help with. I want that real estate in their head. And the book accomplishes that. Now, now here's the thing. 90% of the people that buy the book probably won't read the book or finish the book, but for the 10% of the people that finish the book, you want to make it fire, you want to make it good, you want to make it quality content, but I'm not looking to win any awards for writing. Let me put it that way. It's just another piece of content out there in the atmosphere. Every single piece of content serves its own unique and key purpose, but it all matters. It's about consistently seeing your name over and over and over and over. Guys, when you're creating content, don't be boring. This is something that I talk about all the time. And don't be afraid to be controversial, but don't be too controversial. A little controversy keeps people's attention. Too much makes you a sideshow, and people might not take you seriously. What I mean by this is if you have an opinion on something, if you're creating content, like let's say you have a YouTube channel, you're making videos, and you have an opinion about something that might have some people on the fence about it, don't be afraid to share it. Don't be a robot. People want to see the real you. Your audience wants to be able to connect with you on a level that builds even more trust than if you were just saying the most politically correct thing, because people sometimes want honesty and genuine information. So don't be afraid to be controversial sometimes. Share valuable information that matters, no matter what it is, right? When I created the Everything Medicare podcast, my goal was to have it be a library that someone that's turning 65 or getting onto Medicare for the first time could go to, and they could find a video or an episode about any topic they could possibly have. Any question could be answered just right in there. And I wanted to just give it away for nothing. But those that give, get in the long run. Yes, your followers and subscribers are a community on whatever platform it is, so you want to consistently feed them with valuable information. Let's talk about YouTube and tracking your data. It's not all about views, guys. A lot of you guys probably already know this, but it's more about how long they're watching your videos. How long are you keeping their attention? This circles back to not being boring. You have to make your content interesting and engaging. Long intros explaining your life story are Nobody wants to hear that. Or maybe a few people do. But most people probably don't want to hear that, right? Get to the point in your videos. The thumbnails, everything in your videos, for any of you guys that want to make a YouTube channel, it has to capture the person's attention when they're scrolling. So make sure that the video is jumping out to people. Make sure the thumbnail is jumping out to people so that way they can know if your video is something that might be interesting to them or not. And the thumbnail's the first person, the thumbnail's the first thing that the person, is going to see. So you want to tell them a little bit of like a preview. Think of it like a preview to your video. And you almost want to tell them what the video is about in the thumbnail. Tags. So make sure you're using tags in your videos, but not just on the video itself. Put your tags in the description of the video. The YouTube algorithm likes that. Tags are going to help you get found in searches. It's just going to help your video all together in the SEO factor of that. Are you blogging? Do you not want to get in front of a camera? Me personally, guys, I think that if you have fear of getting in front of a camera, I got a news for you guys. Every single person in this room that creates content, that puts videos out, had that same fear at one point. All of us have been new agents, right? All of us have had that fear of picking up the phone and dialing leads. It's the same thing. But you push through, you get more comfortable, you get better at it. Getting in front of the camera is the exact same way. But if you really don't want to get in front of a camera, you should be doing this whether you do make videos or not, but have a blog on your website. Landon talked about this a lot. I don't want to beat a dead horse too much on that. But how do you come up with blog articles and titles and topics? Well, the best way you can do that is use a keyword search site. Google Keyword Planner, for example. But there's a million of them out there. It doesn't have to be that one specifically. But see what topics people are actually looking for. Are they looking for Medicare Supplement versus Medicare Advantage? Medicare versus Medicaid? What are the people actually looking for? This is what you want to build your article topic around. What about new platforms? People ask me all the time, should I get on Clubhouse? Should I get on TikTok? My biggest regret in the last year was that I didn't get on the TikTok train fast enough. I want to be TikTok famous. There's certain people I know in the industry that have become TikTok famous, and I can't believe it. But if there's anything I can share with you guys that I've learned from maybe being hesitant with new platforms, it's this. When a new platform becomes available, jump on it. Because a lot of times, you're going to find that their algorithms are usually in the first stages of the platform. So it's going to be so much easier for people to find you organically than some of the more established platforms that have gone through multiple adjustments and reiterations of their algorithm. The other thing, too, to keep in mind with new platforms is some of them will last, some of them will go away, right? Not all of these platforms are going to be around forever, but at the end of the day, the bottom line is that the platforms feed your other platforms, the ones that are going to be here. If I can find a new follower on a new platform and they follow me over to a platform that is a YouTube or a Facebook or something like that, that's a win for me. And it made my existence on that platform worth it. Collaborate, guys. Collaborate, collaborate, collaborate. And a lot of people that make content are big old attention whores. I'm one of them. I'm the biggest one in the room. I love to get in front of the camera. I love to make videos, and I love getting people's attention. And most of the time, people that make content are the exact same way. A lot of times people will be flattered if you ask them to do a video with you, or if you ask them to do an interview on a podcast of yours, or a show, or a channel, or whatever it might be, Facebook Live, something like that. But you'd be surprised how willing people are to do that. Actually, the first time I ever connected with Justin, he did not know me from a hole in the wall. I was doing the Everything Medicare podcast. That's all I was doing in terms of content at this point in time. And, you know, I shot him a message, asked him to come on, and he was more than willing to do it. He was gracious about it. And most people are like that. So guys, how much content should you actually be pushing out in the next year? Well, I personally feel like we could have done more than we did last year, but this is a little bit about what we did in the last year in terms of content. And it's dramatically exploded our business on the direct-to-consumer side, but also on the agent side in terms of recruitment, since we do both. In 2020, six-figure Medicare agent didn't exist. By the end of the year, it had 1,500 agents in it. I was very proud of that. We created 272 YouTube videos across 2 channels, recorded 90 Everything Medicare podcast episodes, did 20 live streams of Taco Tuesday, which has since evolved into the second podcast, Taco Tuesday, Let's Taco About Insurance. I didn't come up with that name, by the way. And published 2 books. And I felt like I could have done more. Oh, and I published an online training course, shameless plug, with over 160 videos on it of training content that talks about how we get clients and how we do business in our business. Like I said, I felt like I could have done more than that in the last 12 months. You guys can do more than that. It's not that difficult. It's just about continuously coming up with a content strategy and sticking to it. Because if you do, guys, people will find you, people want to do business with you, people will appreciate your information. I'm of the opinion that if you look at your business as a valuable business, something that you would want a family member to be able to use your services, and you feel like you provide a great service to people, I think you're only being selfish by not putting it out there for the world to see. Because then more people can benefit from your great service. And that's what getting content's all about. That's about building that brand so more people can know who you are. And that's all I got.
Hang tight. Real quick, we're working on getting Ricky mic'd up. You went a little quicker than I thought.
Okay.
So while we're doing that, anybody got any questions for Christian? We got one right here.
Yeah, would you talk a little bit about your book writing process, just beginning to end overview?
Yeah, for sure. So anybody that's bought any of my books knows they're not terribly long, right? The one I just put out, How to Be a Six-Figure Medicare Agent, put it out right before AEP. It was like 150 pages. We self-publish them through Amazon. And so we do so through the Kindle platform. It's incredibly user-friendly. It's a really good platform. And it just publishes it on the various different Amazon platforms that I want it to. So my process when it comes to writing a book, and everybody's different, I've never been of the belief that I want to take years to write a book or just keep going over it or do multiple drafts or everything. Because I typically find that, and this is just me personally, some of you guys might be different, but if I write something, I'm probably going to write it best the first time. So if I go back and edit it again, it's probably going to be a watered down version of what I said in the beginning. So I typically will be able to write my books in a month or 2 because of that. And it's not that I'm rushing them, it's that I want to get it down the first time. The first time is usually the best time. And yeah, we do it through the Kindle self-publishing. So I don't know if that answers your question.
That's great. Thank you.
We got one more in the back. Nice and loud, please.
All right, so you were talking about earlier that the content needs to be accurate.
Yes.
How does someone new that's starting to do this monitor and make sure what they're putting out there is accurate?
That's a great question. I would say, number one, if you're not sure about something, unless you, like, if you're on the fence about something, you're not sure if you're saying something accurate or not, maybe don't put it out, number one. Number two, I mean, there's endless information on Google, guys. I mean, you could fact check something on Medicare.gov and just make sure that it's checked for accuracy. So that would be my advice there. I wouldn't create content or post something unless you're 100% sure that what you're saying is accurate. Unless it's something that's more of like an opinion thing, right? Because there's certain things that are factually based, and then there's certain things that it's just more based on your opinion. If it's a factually based topic, make sure that you make sure that you got your ducks in a row before you put something out.
Awesome. Thank you. Christian Brindle, everybody, please. Nice meeting you.
It's time to grow your agency like a guru. Introducing Go Guru Pro. The Go High Level platform allows for minimizing software-based subscriptions and grants control over several facets of marketing and communication. Automate your workflow, communicate with your leads, book appointments in advance, and house all your clients in one secure location. Visit goguru.pro and schedule your one-on-one demo today.